What's going on, guys? It is Madman Plant Stephen Walters, and today we have another Vindec EU episode. And I'm really excited about this because it's not only just a story, it's the perception, it's the survivability, and then it's the path moving forward. And tonight we're going to talk all about that. But before we do, let's welcome Vindec EU, where healing isn't a destination, it's a declaration. Each week, we spark or speak to real people navigating trauma, burnout, and purpose, because behind every business, brand, or hustle is a human being. And tonight, we're diving into mental health side because none of us are doing this alone, even when we feel like it. So before we get started, I want to remind everybody that next Friday is the meetup for Honey on Duty, and then the 20th is our in-person mental health hustle panel. So healing the hustle at Always Flavored. We already have 5 great panelists, and it's going to be a wonderful conversation. So tonight we have Alan Wright, who is a legally blind survivor of a suicide attempt who now uses his voice to educate, empower, and encourage others navigating the aftermath of trauma. His life changed forever after surviving a self-inflicted gunshot that left him significant vision loss, permanent facial damage, and traumatic brain injury. Since then, Alan has devoted himself to a path of radical honesty, mental resilience, and real-time healing. So Alan is passionate about teaching people how to take control of their emotions and not be defined by victimhood or public perception. Whether he's helping kids respond to bullying, guiding adults through emotional burnout, or confronting ableist and racist trolls on his social media, Alan leads by example, steady, grounded, and unshaken. So we are going to bring Alan in. Welcome, my good sir.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing wonderful, especially now that we are on the call. You know, I really love the opportunity to get connected and have these conversations because I truly believe in the power of healing and the power of conversation, and how something so simple as talking can mean so much to other people. So what I would like to do when we first start is kind of just give people a glimpse of what went on. So what I would like to do is kind of, even before the attempt and everything, going back to childhood, kind of take us through, you know, your life up to the point, and then what was it like?
Well, it was the way I do my platform, and I'm always going to say this, it's not one reason why, it's 5 or more. And all those start could be from childhood memories. We never know what our children or what our memory is going to get stuck in your head. It could be something silly, something stupid, and that includes all kinds of bad things. Now, since I said that, I'm going to go into a lot of my childhood growing up. I suffered a lot of trauma when I was very, very, very young. Okay, when I was 7, 8 years old, my mom had breast cancer. The breast cancer was severe. It went stage 4 malignant all the way through her body. She was in the hospital. Me and my mom used to do needlepoint together in the hospital. I still have the needlepoint put away. I left one spot for her. But the one night, the last night I got to see my mom, me and her were doing the needlepoint. And with that needlepoint, mom turned around and said to me, I'm tired. I gotta put it down. We'll just cuddle. She went to sleep. I thought, no, she didn't go to sleep. She actually died. But I thought she went to sleep. So I went and told my dad and my grandpa. They already knew that it was going to happen soon. But they still took me. I found out later that night she passed away. Well, that affected my mental health severely. I forgot everything, and I mean everything except for how to walk, how to breathe, how to eat. I take my speech and everything went all the way down. I ended up going to a college and university in Victoria, and I was put as a test subject in there. I was in the room, but there was a great big glass wall. It was a two-way wall. There was 35 different people in that room because I was so unique at the time. This was in the 60s. So I helped pioneer a lot in mental health back then. That's the way I look at it now. I didn't for years. But they helped me catch up every single day throughout the whole summer. My grandparents took me, my grandmother. So she became very special to me. But I come from an upper class family, not way up there, but fairly upper class, where you were only allowed to speak when you were spoken to. You know, there was all kinds of different rules when you went out and visit. All kinds of different things like that. Yeah, people may come up poor, some people may come up rich. Was things given to me? No, I still had Durham, but I never wanted really for anything unless if it was special. I had to make my own money. My dad was very good. But sorry, guys, my throat, the valve thing, it so that takes and the gunpowder from the gunshot, from the gun being under, burnt that valve. So you always see me pause to swallow because the valve doesn't always know what to do. Moisture hits you. But going all the way through that, different things with my exes and what they did to me over the years made a major impact on mental health to me. Like my ex, and I'm not going to mention her name, my ex-wife always physically abused me, broke my back, dislocated my shoulder, dislocated my elbow. All those. I never hit her back. I would never, ever, ever hit a woman. So that put a lot of stress on me. What do I do? All these different things throughout life ended up affecting me in the head. And you can end up, instead of me talking to people, because I'm a man, I was brought up, suck it up. You're a man. You have to accept it. You have to do it. Well, even when my ex broke my back and is in the hospital and tried talking to the police, they went on and said, no, you're a man. Take it. Huh? Okay, fine, Janji. Ended up divorcing. That really, divorce hits really hard too. After I found out she was cheating on me for a very, very, very long time with my best friend. So that puts a lot of stress on your head too. Like I said, it's not one thing, it's five or more. And they all build up. Well, I ended up seeing another girl. And she ended up injecting my testicles with certain stuff, medical grade salt and Everclear, and she wanted to destroy it. And we're in a BDSM relationship, so I said, yeah, okay, whatever. I was madly in love. Have you ever been in love with someone where you'll do anything, doesn't matter what it is? Well, that was me at the time. Was it wrong? Yes. Should I let her do it? No. Did I? Yes. It's part her fault, part my fault. I don't blame her for it because I also agreed to it. So, ended up having to go to the hospital and got both removed. She ended up going along because I ended up going in 90 pods, which is like women going through menopause. but it's 10 times worse, and it's like instant because you lose all your testosterone in your body. Oh my God, I feel sorry for women. Oh,
Mm.
because they gotta go through it a longer time. At least I could get testosterone later to balance it out. But she ended up calling me on the phone and, or not calling me, texting me, yeah, that's it, we're done. Okay. She had another boyfriend that I was supporting, buying cigarettes, giving food to, putting a roof over his head and everything else too for 3 months. I ended up so many different phone calls. Oh, they're just saving money so you can leave. I confronted her, asked her no. Well, I ended up finding out she was lying. That's what they were really, really, really doing. Stories got all kinds of twisted around. One girl went along, told her, he's gonna, she told me that they're gonna leave. I said, oh, I'm gonna go kill them. No, I didn't. I said, over my dead body, which almost comes true. Okay, fine, Angie, I confronted him. I went to talk to her, everything else. But after she gave me the text message, breaking up with me by text message is over, I got home at about 1 o'clock. I come into the house. Unsafe that I had was ripped out of the floor. Certain guns were on the bed. Huh? Well, my couple of my guns were missing. I'm going, oh my God, where is it? I don't know where it was. But I took a look in the living room TV. Certain things were missing out of the house already. I'm going, oh my God, I'm getting more and more and more upset. The pain in the head was hurting me even more. So I normally would go down, reload ammunition. Well, I couldn't do that because it was in the same house. So ended up I grabbed my one gun that needed some work, my 308, Browning the Expo. I went into the garage. I closed the garage door. I put a rope around the door handle, closed it, went to a railing because it was a platform before going down, tied it so no one could come in there. I opened up the garage door. She came out, tried opening the door. Didn't open. She knocked on it. I said, leave me alone, please. I need to be left alone. Oh, no. She wouldn't leave me alone. She went out the front door of the house, came all the way into the garage. And I said, I need time. Leave me alone. Give me space. No, she said. I said, leave me alone or I'm going to shoot myself. And she turned around and said, go for it. So I put a clip in the gun, pulled the bolt back, loaded it, put it under my chin, and pulled the trigger. I figured my higher power, my angel, grabbed my hair and pulled me back. Because I don't think an angel can touch a weapon, but they can help you. So I figured they helped me pull my head back so I didn't actually take my brains out. The bullet went all the way up through here. That was at 1:15 a.m. Ended up calling the ambulance. I don't remember anything except for a cop. The only thing, it's kind of weird what you can remember when you're that way. I remember one of the police going, is the gun loaded? That's all I remember them saying. I don't remember. Ambulance ride to the hospital in ER and trauma. And they ended up, from there, they got me all stabilized and everything, put me on a helicopter, flew me to Edmonton, Alberta, where I guess, in a way, I always look at the positives, not the negatives. I had the very top plastic surgeon in all of Western Canada, Louis Gorman. He teaches all the plastic surgeons. I had him. He was on call. I ended up spending 13 hours for them to prep everything and start putting the plaques on and everything. They finally did the skin rest. This one came off my right upper thigh, and this one came off my lower leg. Normally, they take them off your butt. I got two eyeballs, this big one on each cheek of my butt, so I couldn't take it there. So I had to take the one off this part of the side and the other one off the cap. Well, they kept me in the ICU for 3 months. Know this, I was completely unconscious in chemically induced coma. I finally woke up after 3 months. They let me go. And my first thoughts were, oh my God, where am I? Is this heaven? Is this hell? Is this purgatory? And then it clicked, oh my God, I'm in the hospital. And I tried thinking, why am I still alive? I couldn't figure it out. I just put it in the back of my mind. I was so high on painkillers and everything, and I was just trying to figure it out. I couldn't. I ended up having the nurse's station call my ex's cell because I didn't know who to reach out. So I could remember her phone number because she took my phone, she took everything of mine. But anyways, ended up getting the whole, she wouldn't answer the phone. I said, can you give me a call? You know, I need to talk. Well, then ended up going along, and a couple of days later, I called my ex-wife. She talked to me for a minute. I don't want to talk to you because I tried taking my life. It hit her really, really, really hard. She was actually really mad at me for me trying to take my life. I say trying to take my life because I didn't. Now, with that, I ended up calling my ex. I said, how about let my ex-wife or my kids come get my stuff? My ex would not allow that. And all of a sudden, the RCMP show up. Oh, you can't call Sherry. You call out, you're going to jail. I'm going, huh? What? Oh, you got a restraining order against you. Huh? Why do I have a restraining order? I haven't been served. Here's your paper. We've had it for a while. Well, she ended up getting 2, 1 month and then 6 months. While I'm unconscious. I never, ever, ever threatened to shoot her, but she was saying she did. Now, there was cameras all over the house. One outside the door, one out the front. I had put one in the garage, so you could actually, it was on film. So it was all recorded, everything that happened in the garage. So when they ended up replacing, I'll get to the rest part of that in a minute, but they ended up, after a week or so, they decided to replace this bone here, which they took part of my leg down here. They took part of that bone to put in here and a plate so I could have a lower jaw again. And they had to connect it to blood vessels and everything, blah, blah, blah. But I was in the ICU for only a couple of days, and that was not good. I don't like lying on my back if I'm awake. So they ended up taking me up to my room. And I forgot exactly where it's going. I'm sorry. The gunshot gave me another concussion. That was concussion number 15, which the bullet did not pass through the brain, but gave me brain damage from so many concussions. But yeah, and I ended up spending 10 months in the hospital. going back from where I live in Grand Prairie to Edmonton. In that time, I only had one visitor, my house sister, that I didn't really get along with because of issues I'm not getting into on here. But she ended up coming and seeing me and everything else, which was fine and dandy. At least I had one visitor. When I find I had to go through someone else to try and get my stuff. And I was court ordered, or she was court ordered to give me my stuff back. In that court hearing, too, she wanted another restraining order. I wanted nothing to do with her. I didn't want to see her or anything. I said, okay, make the restraining for 2 years. I only want my stuff back. And Judge asked her, oh yeah, I'll give them all back his stuff. We'll get it in your container and put it all here. Never gave me all my stuff back. Part of it, but not all of it. Lots of stuff that my dad gave me and everything else. But it all adds up to mental health. And during all this time being on the painkillers, I started taking myself off because it made me dopey. I couldn't think clear. And I need to figure out answers in my own head of why I'm alive, why I'm still here. What can I do? But being on those painkillers, I couldn't. Hospital nurses and everything else couldn't believe how much that's dropping. I just didn't like them. Couldn't think clearly. I still can't totally, but and that's because of the saliva. That's why I end up coughing. But just letting you guys know, there's all kinds of different things like that that affect you on how to think, how not to think. So it made me really think of an awful lot of trying to get better. And I realized while I was in the hospital, laying in the hospital bed by myself without any visitors, it's up to me. It's up to me to look after me. It's up to me to make myself happy. No one else is going to do it. I'm all alone. So I realized that it's up to you to look after you. And that's what I end up saying an awful lot. It really is up to you to look after you. You live with yourself. You can't leave yourself. Do you want me to keep going?
Well, actually, I've been taking a bunch of notes, and I would love to dive into some of this because you're doing absolutely wonderful. The 5 points that you listed is your mom's passing, your ex-girlfriend, and what are the other 3 to be listed out?
My ex-wife. What she had done to me.
Okay.
You know, it's just simple things, including the physical things she did to me. So many people, oh, men can't be TV survivors. I am. It is what it is. I don't worry about it. I don't hold it against her. But the way you're kind of brought up, there's things that my dad did or didn't do. There's all those stupid little things when you're a kid growing up that are trivial to you when you get older. But those little things can stick in your head for a lifetime. And they weren't really all that big a deal. Oh, my parents wouldn't let me watch TV at this time. My parents wouldn't let me play the video games or whatever. That one time may really stick out in your head because the way the mind is wired.
Now, with that being said, when your mom passed, you were 7 or 8 years old, and she died of breast cancer. What was your thought process on life and death at that point, at a young age?
I don't know. because I ended up losing all memory, everything. I only knew who my dad was. I had to be reintroduced to my grandparents and everything, and my sister and that, right? And so I ended up failing grade 3 at the time because I lost everything. I lost my complete memory, all that. So I had to, my process didn't really work then because of it. I ended up seeing psychologists, therapists at a really young age and learned a fair bit about them then. And I guess with me being so young has helped me be able to help myself now. After my attempt, I'm one of the few people I never saw a psychologist, a therapist, or anything. While I was in the hospital for 10 months, not one coming to see me, not one coming to talk to me. I did not get evaluated or anything. Welcome to Canadian mental health. It sucks. I'm sorry, but it does. I'm a captive person in there for 10 months and no one comes and sees me? Wow.
What do you
So,
think that people romanticize about a situation like that, but in your case it wasn't pretty living through it?
what do you mean by romanticize?
Like okay, so for instance, when we talk to a lot of survivors and people, right, a lot of times the thing is they always interpret it on how they feel about a situation that took place that you were in, right? And they, a lot of survivors, sometimes they don't want to be feeling sad for. And I think a lot of times when we look at trauma, the outsider will look at things and be like, oh, this and this, but and kind of try to define it in their own words. But the person that's actually living through it versus the person that's actually going through it and dealing with this is two outcomes. What would you say that you wish people in your situation would stop like fantasizing about or focusing on versus the reality of what you had to live for, if that makes sense?
Hey, kinda. Now, the way it's gonna kind of sound a little bit different, but I consider it what we call second-hand suicide. Okay? It's the way you go with it. People may want to die. They don't like the pain in their head or their heart or both. But they don't have the strength to take a gun and take their own life. They don't have the strength to jump in front of a moving truck, jump off a building. Sorry, guys, mushroom.
Oh, you're totally fine. Take your
So
time.
they'll go along and dream of, oh, I'll get into a car accident, I'll die. Or they'll dream. They may have a romanticized about something else doing it. They even may dream about it. But suicide takes an awful lot of strength. It really, really does. For 90% of the people that do it, they don't want to go through pain. They don't want to survive like a lot of us have survived. They want it second hand. They want someone else to do it without them doing it, so they don't feel guilty. Because a lot of people know that it's wrong. They shouldn't do it. They don't want to feel guilty. And that's part of the reason why a lot of people don't reach out either. They don't want to be judged. They don't want people to tell the whole world. There's all kinds of things of being afraid. Listen, and that's why they end up turning back to, I wish I'd died. 95% or 98% of every human being on Earth has thought about taking their life at some point or another. Most don't. Although every 13 minutes a man takes his life in the world. I do a fair bit of research on different things like that. But they all want that second-hand suicide. They do not want to do it themselves. There is a few that try themselves. I have watched some people that have told me, I can say because they said publicly on my lives, because I'll never tell anybody else this story. They put a pew-pew, you can tell them this is TikTok. They put a gun to their head and pulled the trigger. Hammer comes down, but gun never went off. Until they hit that really, really, really low spot to do it, that's, as soon as they did, oh my God, you guys, that's for life. They knew they shouldn't have done it. I wish I could teach people, bottle it, put in a pill form or whatever, of how you get a zest for life afterwards. Yes, there's different stages you go through to do it. Do I love my life now? More or less, yeah, I do. Does it have hardships? Oh, yeah, it does. But I wish I had known what I know now previously. I wouldn't have tried taking my life, probably. If my ex didn't tell me to go ahead and shoot yourself, I wouldn't have tried. I would have fought through it. But all the different situations. And that's why I think that was partly my scapegoat. That she said, go for it. So I did. Now, that's what I mean by a lot of second-hand suicide. People can push you to that point where you want to do it, but you won't quite do it because you want someone else to do it. You know it's wrong. You don't want to do it. So if she hadn't have said that, I wouldn't have tried myself. It was yeah, you're good to go for it kind of thing. It's the way I look back on it. Was it wrong? Yes. And that's part of the reason why I always go now. No matter what anybody says to you, don't let it control your emotions or feelings. Don't give them that power to control your emotions or feelings. They're yours. They're not yours. So if someone calls you fat, ugly, Becca, or anything bad, you're in control of your emotions. I would really, really love everybody to learn this. Thanks for showing who you are and walk away. Because they truly did show who they are. They don't care about your mental health. It's up to you to control your own mental health. So control emotions. Don't become a prisoner to them. Does that kind of make sense to how I think of what your question was?
Yeah, you are doing a fantastic job. Now, one thing you talked about is you came home, the guns were on the bed, some things you thought were missing. You grabbed your 308, you went to the garage, you locked the garage. Your what you just said, your ex-wife told you to do it. It was at 1:15 a.m. Do you think when you did that, it was like a fuck you to her? It's like, oh, okay, you want me to do this, then I'll fucking do it. Do you think at that it was like a permission that was given, so you went from second hand to first hand?
Kind of yes and no. Um, More or less, it's like, oh my God, that's hurting. That pain was so much in my head and my heart. Now, you're in the here and now. Okay, so you're living in the here and now. I was pushed that much right then and there. It was more of stopping the pain in my head and my heart, but she also pushed too. But I also let her. Because I could have gone up and walked away too. I don't hold it completely against her. I think of it as 50-50.
If you didn't have her 50%, do you think you would have done it that night?
If she hadn't have said that, go for it, no, I wouldn't have.
Do you think it was just her telling you and like you figuring out in your mind that, wow, she doesn't really even care about me, so fuck you then. I will go ahead and do it.
I guess I'm looking back on it now. It's like I just wanted to be left alone. I needed to heal from what she went through because the pain got so much it was about to blow my top off. So I said, leave me alone or I'm going to shoot myself. That was the last thread. I need to heal. Leave me alone. And she wouldn't. No, I'm not going to. So it's a big red flag. What the narcissist will do is keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing to pushing me that far. So it really is. I was so done. I wanted that pain to stop right now. And she pushed that pain even more. I don't care about your pain. I'm going to make it even more painful. By not respecting your boundaries, not giving you time, chasing after me, even after I said, leave me alone.
Looking back on this, what would you say to somebody that's in a toxic relationship like that, living your past version of self?
Male or female, I have two views.
Well, to anybody, like let's say you just found out somebody was in a situation and it was like, wow, that reminds me of my old situation. What would be your advice since you're on the other side now?
And this was my fiance, the one that pushed me that way, not my ex-wife. Okay, I just want to make sure you know it's clear that way, because you could say that way before. But now I worked a little bit with TV, a little. Now trying to get out of the TV situation, most women when they leave an abusive man, and not all men are abusive, not all women are abusive. Okay, but they usually try leaving up to 7 times before they go. Now, even with my wife, even when she said, oh, I don't care, we need to fix this, but it's all up to you. You have to fix it. I'm not having any part of trying to fix it. It's all up to you. So it does take two to work on it to bring you back together. Now, if you tried that, I stayed too many years before I left. Now, communications out of all my relationships over the years, as soon as open, honest communication starts going this way, apart, it's done, in my opinion. You have to be open, honest, and communicate. If you don't, and especially for women, if you decide to leave, leave. Don't come back. Don't try again. Either one, men or women, will not really change. Okay? If you want to, hey, if you're really going to change, prove it to me. Move out 6 months to a year minimum. As they change, they change. Just live in different places. That would be my suggestion. Because we can all get set in our own routines, fall into habits. So many men and women said, oh my God, I'm going to change. Watch, I promise I'll change. I didn't say that. Yes, I was not perfect. Husband, I was not perfect fiance. I would say, hey, You don't like that? I will change. I may slip for the first little while, but I will prove it to you in my actions. Because I know if you're going to change, it takes 21 days for something to become habit forming. So you're not going to change. And I say, hey, if I slip, point it out nicely, not mean. Just say, hey, you slipped, you did it again, and end of it. Let me change it without you getting mad, without me getting mad. I found that really worked. But as soon as you stop communicating, which my ex did, wouldn't let me talk to her every day, which I used to do on the phone or texting or whatever. She said, no, you can't do that. And she talked to her new boyfriend now all the time. Does that answer your question?
You're doing great, Alan. So when
Call
you
me
were,
Al, please.
huh?
Call me Al, not Alan, please.
Oh, Al, sorry. When you
No
were
problem.
medevac to the hospital, when I've spoken to other survivors, sometimes they're met with a voice, or they like, for instance, Henry felt like he had a mock trial where he was judged for all of his sins. When you were in your coma for the 3 months, what was that like? Is it just blackness, or does anything happen in a coma? What is that like?
For me, was fairly different compared to most people. A lot of people will have dreams, they may see God, they may see whatever. Mine was complete darkness, complete nothing. Like I said, the only thing I remember the first 3 months was the one officer that said, is your gun loaded? That's the only thing I remember out of it all. That's it. I don't remember anything else. It was complete black. No weird dreams, no prophecies, no nothing. Now, a lot of people have. Because I do a lot of mental health work with other people that still want to try taking their life, but they don't know how to reach out. Um, I probably talk to 3 people a day every day. I have my message box open on one of my social medias, and I end up talking to them an awful lot there. I move them over to Snapchat to talk to them, but a lot of them have told me their stories, when they tried, what they saw, or anything else. And out of my gatherings of all the people I've talked to, it can depend on how they try taking their life. Now, a lot of it can be if they decide to try taking their life with pills or illegal substances, they can end up having a lot more of those. Ones that have tried with a gun, it depends on how bad it's messed up their brain, because it's a big jolt. It can give them a concussion, right? So I found it varies. Did one piece go right through the brain with the shotgun? Mine was a bullet, went right through the front. Now, I just found that that can vary from person to person.
Now, when you woke up, what was your thought of being alive? Were you upset? Were you angry? Were you like, fuck, this didn't work? What the fuck's going on? Because you said that when you woke up, you wondered where you were and why you were alive.
Yeah, I woke up and it's like, oh my God, I tried taking my life. Where am I? And it's just like, what's going on? I didn't know. And it took a long time to figure it out. Okay, I'm alive, it didn't work. It's the only thing in my life I didn't succeed at. I'm glad I didn't.
Well, I'm glad you didn't either. I'm glad that you're here.
But I want to add one thing here. because so many people go, "Oh my God, you committed suicide. You can't go to heaven." Well, to actually commit suicide, you have to die. I attempted it. I didn't succeed. And that's my answer to all the people that say, "Oh my God, suicide's against most religions." I said, "Yeah, I tried. I didn't succeed. So my higher power will forgive me." Sorry, I had to add that in.
Well, I think also too the work that you do, whether it's on Snapchat or whether it's in your inbox, wherever that might be, and be able to have those conversations is also, doing the work, of whatever higher power, you believe in or whatever. And I think that's the biggest thing too is now you can bring this experience to try to help people out, and that's invaluable, and that can only be attained through lived experience, which is what you have, being able to survive. um Master Yoda in the chat says clearly your higher power had plans for you.
I believe that now. Now I totally believe, because we started the first part of the question. You asked me why. Well, I had to try to figure it out why I survived. And I believe it's because my higher power, one, because I'm so positive, one, need to help people. Know that I'm completely open and honest about it. So as you figured, might as well help. I ended up trying to figure out how I could help people, how I could do different things. What could I do? And I finally decided to go on TikTok and do a couple videos. Oh my God, did I get a ton of hate the first couple of videos. Okay, fine, dandy. It's amazing. I'm going to say this. People that have deformities, face, arms, or that may get bullied and harassed. And they get thicker skin. Well, I came up with a joke to help me. A lot of people that end up with things, deformities or whatever, it's probably the certain stage of healing when they finally go along and start joking. They learn to joke with it to, "Hey, look, I'm okay with it." And so the other people don't have to. It's kind of, I figure, a defense mechanism. And the reason I say in life, "Oh, don't worry, when I got this skin graft, it's called anti-toll skin graft." So I use it to my advantage. A lot of people that have gone through things like this, whether it's a burn or attempted suicide, uh, any really, really bad thing, eventually you go, "Can't figure it out." Then disbelief. How do I cope with it? And then, there's all kinds of different ways that people really, really, really do go through it. And near the final stages, there's a lot you can joke with it. Because I'll tell this one joke is, do you know how I really, really lost my nose? I was eating a pink taco. She farted and blew it right off.
That's
I don't
funny.
say that. And it makes people laugh, which kind of makes us people that have deformities, or not, I wouldn't really say deformities, that look really different compared to society norms. It's a way of us coping with it. It's like my eye. I'll have an eyeball, so I have a rainbow in there, right? I do have one that looks like my real eye.
Oh, that is
Okay,
awesome.
now here. So I have one that looks like a rainbow.
That's
My
awesome.
best, one of my best friends asked me to get it when I went to go get my other. Um, and I said, "Sure." Uh, Jersey Terry, your mom. That was, she's done so much for me. When I got out and I started going on social media, I needed someone to talk to almost every single day. We all need different things in our healing journey. I didn't want a relationship. I just wanted someone that I could talk to. Message, good morning, have a good day, or whatever. They do a text back. That's all I needed. I needed that to know I was still loved, that I was cared for, that I was liked, and it actually helped me push forward. Without Tracy Terry Rayer Mom, I wouldn't have gone this far. I might have actually tried again. I don't know. I don't think I would have, but I possibly could. But if it wasn't for her, I would probably end up taking a lot longer to heal. I may not be able to help people like I am now because the way she helped me analyze, she helped me. I need to help other people, right? And with all that, she helped so much. She went along and said, you know, I'll get a rainbow eye, I'll pay for it. I said, no, I'll get one. And this one got donated to me because of the amount of work that I do with mental health and helping people. So they said, it's a gift. So I got this one gifted to me.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Well, because you'll do different ones and you'll say, okay, we'll make one for you, but you got to give a gift to a charity, right? So I kind of give back. I'm giving back to a lot more.
What do you think the experience taught you that most people wouldn't understand?
Okay, I'm going to grab something.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, on my fridge, I only have one thing. It's a magnet. And this magnet's a cloud. And this cloud says only if life has a back button. I don't want a back button. Everything that I've done and happened to me in my life has made me who I am. I'm even more positive. I'm helping people now. So I look at it this way. I don't want a back button. I draw a mirror every day and see if I was a good person in that day and only that day. If I wasn't, why was I me? How can I fix it? How can I avoid that problem? If I make a mistake, I own it myself. I don't have to go to a loudspeaker and tell people, but I have to admit it myself because I can fix it myself. If I blame someone else for it, they're not going to fix my problem. So, this magnet's just to remind me everything I've done in life has made me who I am now, good or bad. The bad things I've done in life are as important as the good things because we have to learn from our mistakes. We really, really do have to learn from them. Because, like I said earlier, everything starts with you, whether it's good or bad inside. You have to use self care. You have to love yourself.
I like how you say you don't want a back button. You know that that takes a lot of courage because a back button would remove all the pain, the incident itself. A lot of things, and I do agree that we learn from our mistakes, and that mistakes are honestly some of the best things that if we learn to look at them positively, that can happen to us. Because when things go right, it's easy when things go right. It's when things go wrong is where we really have to like shape our, character or our integrity or our personalities to really match what's going out. And I also like one thing too, that you use a lot of positivity, because I'm sure, just like with me, I've suffered from depression and anxiety and all that. You have good days and you have bad days, but you doing the work, helping other people, that's also creating a legacy for those, because somebody else who's been in your situation, or, in a different situation, they can say, wow, look at Al as an example. And by healing is the way I heal. A lot of why I do this podcast is because I'm trying to change the narration of how I feel inside, because I don't feel
Mhm.
that great inside. I suffer from depression and imposter syndrome, and, really bad dreams and thoughts and stuff like that. And, by talking to people, by working with people, by understanding others and their situations, I really feel like that's where the gratitude and the happiness begins, because you start to, one, humble yourself, but you start to realize that other people's situations are a lot like yours, and in a way we're all suffering, whether we've gone to the extreme lengths or not. One thing though, that I really do like is that you're talking to other people. Now, those people, is it just on social media, or are you working with like programs for people that are really going through it?
No, mine's one-on-one. I take them off my social media and talk to them on something else. I will not put their story or their problems out on my social media, right? I'll say my message box open. You can call me. I don't get to it the same day. I get 1,000 plus messages every day. Yes, I go through 'em. I look at them all. And then I start talking to them, right? Because it's one-on-one. And the biggest thing that I found when I help people, every person is different. Everyone's going through different things. It's not one thing, right?
Yes.
Things is not one reason why you try taking your life. It's five or more. It can be little kids that in school I find they need a lot more help. If I could teach them to learn how to ignore the hateful comments early in life, they'll do better later on in life mentally. Because can't let what someone says affect you. And I'll say this to a lot of little kids. You're walking down in the hallway in school and someone calls you fat and ugly, and will go, huh? What? Don't do that. Just ignore them and keep going. Remember, they just showed who you are. A bully wants a reaction. A bully wants you to clap back. Now, I prove it in my lives on TikTok all the time. You see all the people that bully and harass and put me down? 90% of them say the comment over and over and over, and they go, oh my God, this guy's no funny, he's not clapping back. And then walk away. And that's because they really, really, really do want you to clap back. So it's for their partly amusement, okay, to make themselves feel better. And it is mental health because most bullies are going through something and we don't know what they're going through, okay? It can be, a lot of people would say, hurt people hurt people. Well, that's part of it. But why are they hurt? Most people don't look deep. Why are they hurt? Did your mom die? Dad, brother, sister? Did they wreck their car? Right? Did they get fired? When people are hurting, you're not going to be nice and kind or anything else. So that's why even if I'm walking down the street and someone goes walking by me and they say, "Hi, have a good day, eh?" And they'll go, oh, whatever. I look at it like I don't care about, oh my God, you're rude. I try to analyze it and say, why are they? What happened to make them that way? I know I have my, she always says, Always treat others the way you want to be treated. Now, if someone bullies me, harasses me, calls me fat, calls me ugly, calls me Becca, I got attacked by a monkey or whatever else, right? I am still going to treat them the way I want to be treated, right? That can be right down to I don't want to be yelled at, screamed at, called names. And that relates me into what my grandparents and parents. I'm a baby boomer. Right? If you got nothing good to say nothing at all. So you kind of go hand in hand. I don't want to make them, when they come bullying or harassing me, I don't know what you're going through. So I'll end up treating them the way I want to be treated. I'm not going to bully or harass them back because then it's just like a fight. You're trying to hurt the other person. You're trying to outdo them. That's what bullies do. So if you try to treat them the way you want to be treated, right? Don't yell at me. I'm going to walk away. Right? Don't yell at them. Walk away. So it's a lot of how I end up thinking a lot more of this by helping people with it. So if I can, I've helped a lot of kids in some of my lives and different things. People have gone along and they call me different things. So I'm nice and calm. Why do you say that? What do you mean by that? Have you ever gone through, I'll ask them questions. Have you ever gone through some major trauma? Or people will say, oh my God, I end my life if I look like that. But most people, until you're put in a situation, do not understand everything. They really don't.
Well, yeah, and I think that's a definitely a true statement. Is there's a commonality where people can just assume that they understand like your pain or where you're coming from or your situation, and until and that's what I was saying earlier. Until you're in the arena and it's you going through it, you really don't know anything. You know what I mean? You just speculate. Because at the end of the day, how you truly feel, no one really knows unless you were to tell them. And I think that's important to realize too is most people who are living productive happy lives aren't on the initiative to try to ruin people or make fun of them because they're in a positive realm, so they're not going to be thinking of those type of things. And for people that do that type of behavior, there's a cause, there's a reason. They're like, you said, they're not happy. They want to be miserable just like how they feel inside, and they want other people to know it. And I think the biggest thing um, is having that inner strength, because when you're on your live, and I've been on a live too, tons of times where somebody will make a comment and it throws your mood off, and you're in the middle of the live, and even though you're trying to be positive or whatnot, it still bothers you. You're out here trying to promote positivity, and they're coming in here, and trying to start stuff, and you are right. You just the best way to handle it is to ignore it and just keep moving on and focusing on the people that actually validate you and really appreciate you. Now, I wanted to ask a couple of quick questions, and then we're going to cut to our quick 5-minute break here. Um, when did you start realizing that survival wasn't enough and that you wanted to live?
Uh, I don't know. Deep down, I think I always wanted to live. Now, I was scared, like, leaving the hospital after 10 months, I got traumatized in there. I got scared to go outside. Someone help me, get a place and everything else. And it was just like, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing forward. And I kept trying to look at the positives. Some people would help me, some people wouldn't. And that made me determined to surround myself with positive people who are going to help me. Now, with that, I guess deep down, I really did want to survive. I wanted to keep living. Like I said earlier, I can't express how people I tried taking their life that survive have a zest for life. I don't know how to explain it. And I've been trying to figure it out from other people. They can't explain it either. Otherwise, I could put it in a pill form, injection form, whatever, and tease people up. So I figured just talking my real story is that how I have a zest for life to help others. I don't really know exactly why I got a major zest for life now.
Have you ever heard the song 6 a.m.? Or no, the band is 6 a.m. The song is Life is Beautiful. And it's about the lead singer's overdose. And he says, you can't live until you die. You can't learn to tell the truth until you lie. You can't learn to laugh at other people's jokes. And it pretty much says it's nothing like a funeral to make you feel alive. And that song kind of represents kind of what you're saying is sometimes you almost have to die to realize how wonderful life really is. You have like, it's kind of like the concept, we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone, and most times. And that's why like musicians sell more albums when they're dead than they are alive, because well, you can't get any more of their music. And I think a lot of that kind of revolves to the same thing. You don't realize what you have until you almost lose it. And when, in your case, with the gunshot and everything like that, I'm sure that it really did be like, wow, well, what am I going to do now? Am I just going to be miserable, or am I going to go out there and live? And one thing that I've been trying to do, especially for my own self, is to create that excitement by finding the gratitude, finding the happiness, finding the things that are promotable that people want to hear, and using that as my messaging to change the way I feel inside in my head, but also the output that I'm creating, because if you're negative all the time, how are you going to breed happiness?
Now, the way I think of it is very similar to you, but I had to make my mind think of all kinds of different ways. I think of it emotions, the happiness and depression, your moods, everything. It is the same as a roller coaster. You end up going down and coming back up. You have your highs and lows. Okay? Now, when I'm starting to get a low and start coming down the roller coaster, it's up to me to make it a shallow one and not a deep one. It's now in my mind. This is how I look at it now. Now, I'll do tips and tricks. Is I will not stay in bed and go, oh, woe is me, this is bad. I'll get out of bed. I go do something. I make myself happy by doing something I like to do, something I have to do. Keep my mind busy on something like that, so I'm not sitting and letting that roller coaster go all the way down to that water. I'm going to make that roller coaster start coming back up soon. I found that I need to do self care because I live with myself. I have to help myself. It's only me that's going to help myself. Are you really going to help me when I'm low? No, you're not, unless if I tell you I need help. So it starts with you to reach out and talk to someone. And that's what I really had to do that. I mean, I'm going to go into this, like, because I said about the bed and everything else. I'm not going to lay in bed and go, woe is me, blah, blah, blah. I get out of bed. I make my bed before I even put my house coat on. First job done, I say to myself, house coat on, second job, here I go, third job done, go to the bathroom, fourth job done, go make a cup of coffee, 5 jobs done. Oh my God, I got 5 things done. Yeah, having been out of bed for 5 minutes.
Mhm.
So I end up trying to get myself to look at all the positives to stop that roller coaster from getting all the way and crashing to the bottom. I want to turn that roller coaster so it's only logos.
No, I love that. And it kind of speaks on the same thing that me and my therapist talk about, how there each day you're feeding 2 people, but only one person can get fed. There's the person that wants to be like, woe's me, my poor little life, everything's falling apart, people are saying bad things about me. And then the other person is the person that's moving forward, that's going to take yourself to that next level, that's going to really help you be where you want to be. And each day you have to decide who gets that energy. And I think you represent that 100% of giving the positive person inside you that energy so you can, one, feel good, but two, really affect other people in a positive way, because what you're building is really a movement, by being able to share your story, help other people, have people reach out to you. I mean, that's all like movement type of material, which is great, because now your once pain, your once trauma, your once dark side is now somebody's light side. It's something that somebody's coming to for savior or for safety or for better understanding. And that's why I just feel like lived experience over being an expert in something is so important, because how we survive, how we move forward is imperative to what happens next. And it all starts with the mindset and how we feel inside. And sometimes navigating and channeling how we feel inside is difficult, because even in my situation, I can't always control how I feel. Sometimes I just feel angry. Sometimes I just feel sad. You know what I mean? But when you think positively, positive things really do start to happen, and it changes the outlook. And that is something you have mastered. So, way to bring that to the world and allow people to really see that for themselves.
Okay, I'm like when you start feeling bad or depressed or upset or mean, it's up to you to do something about it. It really is. Like you even said, you get depressed. What can you do about it? Draw that mirror, that imaginary mirror, and think. I got upset. I'm thinking those bad things. How can I fix it? How can I stop it? How can I avoid it? Okay? I'm not a trained professional, but this is what's really helped me and helped a lot of other people. And I'll go into that in a second. But it really does help. But it's not for everybody. Everybody can't draw that imaginary mirror and take that mirror and throw it away after you look at it. A lot of people can't do it when you go to bed. You have to do it when you wake up or lunchtime, because it can affect the way they think. Now, the biggest thing is, with me doing that to people, I know it really, really, really does help. First year on TikTok, helping people on TikTok, 12 people told me I saved their life. The next year, with 72 people told me. Third year was 113. Lucky for some, 13. These are just people that said, you saved my life. You talked me out of taking my life. And that's just by telling my story. The next year was only 68. This year, I'm back into triple digits, but I don't release the number until New Year's Day. Because I look at this, hey, that was an awesome year. It was in my past. I helped people in my past in the last year. Now, is everybody going to like me? No. Is everybody going to like the advice I give? No. Is it going to help everybody? No. But I can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone.
That is very true. And it starts with one person. You don't have to change the world, just one person, or even yourself. and I think that's the beautiful part. All right, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. We'll be back here in exactly 5 minutes. Everybody stay tuned. We have more from Al coming soon. Here we go.
Somewhere I like to go, out walking with my shadow in my garden friend. Oh Yahweh, I know you got me in the end, though I am tired. You help me stand, but will I be okay?
What's up, guys? If you're enjoying this episode, then you're going to enjoy our gold sponsor, which is Dry Flower, the original hang harvesting system. If you've ever ruined your flower post-chop or lost your terps to a bad dry, it's time to upgrade. Dry Flower makes the full plant hang drying effortless with tools like their drying arms, the rack systems, and the Cannabis Guardian nets, giving you consistent airflow, zero flat spots, and maximum preservation of your strain's full aroma and structure. Built by growers for growers, Dry Flower helps you cure like a king. Our silver sponsor, Current Culture, the gold standard in deep water culture hydroponics. These systems are designed to deliver explosive roots, growth, and nutrient uptake through consistent water circulation and oxidization. Whether you're in a 4-site system for a home setup or a 100-light commercial facility, their undercurrent system and plug-and-play designs make your grow cleaner, faster, and more productive. Precision growing starts at the roots, and that's where Current Culture shines. Legendary Leafies is on a mission to support veterans and break the stigma around cannabis. Through their unique cannabis-themed trading cards, they highlight the plant's therapeutic potential, especially for those that are battling PTSD and anxiety. Legendary Leafies blends education with empowerment, helping veterans and others feel proud and not ashamed of their mental health journey.
When I get low, there's somewhere I like to go, out walking with my shadow in my garden friend. Oh Yahweh, I know you got me in the end, though I am tired. You help me stand, but will I be okay?
All right. Wow. Whoa. My hair looks fucked up. Hold on for a second. That is crazy. Ugh. All right, nobody left my hair. That was weird though, right? It looked like a turkey tail or something. All right, we are back from our break. We're gonna bring Al back in. Bam.
Alexa, stop timer. Sorry, I said timer for the breaks.
No worries. All right, we are back. So while I was gone, I went up to talk to the producer, my wife Lacey, and she had some questions that she would like to ask. So I thought I'd bring those into the conversation. So before the break, we had talked about a whole bunch of great stuff. She wants to know your recommendation when dealing with a breaking point with an ex, like you did with yours, where she's like, well, go ahead and do it then. What would you say to somebody in a situation that's in a toxic relationship like that?
Well, my way I think about like when she said that, I was living in the here and now. And it's so hard being a human being and living in the here and now. Because the here and now can push you so far doing something you don't realize it. And that's a big thing is in the relationship, you really have to give space when someone asks for it. If you don't, you're pushing them harder and harder. You have to learn to walk away. Even if they're chasing you. This is hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. Okay? So I couldn't do that then. I wasn't thinking straight or right. I put 7 years into that. We were planning on getting married, everything. Right? Probably in my mind is like, oh my God, I tried to do my best. And it was probably thinking, what did I do wrong? I was really putting myself down. And that's why more or less I should have tried walking away more. Looking at hindsight. But it's really, really hard when you live in the here and now. And most of us all live in the here and now. We all let opinions and words that others say to us affect how we feel. I think that's partly why I've learned a lot more to ignore what others say now.
Almost kind of like a defense mechanism where it's like, hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil.
Kinda.
What would you say that 3 to maybe 4 things daily you do to keep yourself grounded?
One is like a lot of different people have different things to keep them grounded. Some may be having music playing in the background all the time. Mine's cooking shows. I will do a lot of cooking and baking because I get things I like to do. I get to give my baking away to friends and neighbors. I love putting smiles on their faces. So when I cook and bake things for other people, it puts a smile on my face and makes me feel better. And that made me thinking of that while I'm doing it. Same thing is in the summertime, I'll go fishing. I'll go for bike rides. Those are all the things that I like to do to help me keep grounded. Music is a big part of that. Cooking shows are TV on the background. Now, if I really don't have TV, need to listen to something, it won't be music usually. It's usually I'll listen to talk shows or talk radio for most of it.
There we go. Sorry, I had a little camera malfunction. So with that
That's
being
all
said, thank you for your understanding. So with that being said, when you were cooking, what kind of release does that do for your mental health? Like like my wife loves to cook, for example, but what about like cooking or like giving that food away? Is that endorphin release for you?
It really is an endorphin release because I love to make people smile. I love to make people happy. If they're happy, I'm happy. That's the way I look at it all. Now, a lot of people that bully and harass and everything else, they're unhappy, so they want to make others unhappy. So I look at it the other way. I really, really try to just flip things around, right? I look at it this way. When you're sad, you end up bullying, harassing, you make the other people hurt. If I look at the positives, I can be happy, I can make others happy. Which one will I be? Grumpy and hurt people or happy and help people? I choose to be positive, happy, and help people. So I don't want to be grumpy. How do I get rid of it? So I'll go through a lot of that. So when I'm cooking and baking, I may be thinking that, oh my God, how are they going to like this? Are they going to like it? I hope they like it. And I'll be thinking of that instead of other problems.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah,
Like
the
one
same way.
thing that I
One
do
thing
is
that
staying busy is like a blessing. Like I feel like even myself when I like sit in like a room and I don't do anything or I'm not communicating or I'm not in an activity, I feel like that's when everything really sets in. Do you share that same type of feeling? Is that why you stay busy a lot?
Well, that's one of my biggest things. You'll hear me all the time say, don't lay in bed. Get out of bed and do something you like to do. Don't lay there. You just confirmed what I was saying. You keep busy, you're not thinking the bad things, right? And I stepped off camera. I made 8 of these. It's zucchini bread, right? Baking. And I give it to my neighbors because they just absolutely love them. And that makes me happy. Same as comedy releases endorphins. Doing things for others releases endorphins that make me feel good. So I'm always looking at that.
Now, before all of this happened, were you the same type of mindset when it came to other people, or was it different before all the trauma?
It was partly due to it, not totally. I was still fairly positive, but now it's made me a lot more positive. It's made me look at how I can make myself feel better more. I still went through the roller coasters before, but I was always trying to help people. I've always been that way. My favorite movies, Cinderella Man, Pay It Forward, and Mass
Yeah,
by
that's a good
Share.
one.
And they're all positive ones, right? Like, I always like to help people. And after this experience, I do help people more. There was some people at corner store. They were trying to get Slurpees for the whole family. They didn't have the money. So I paid for it. I'm on disability. I got SFA for money. But I still did. And I told them, I don't mind doing this. You have to do me one favor. And he kind of looks, oh, what? I said, when you have money and someone else doesn't, pay it for me. That's all I ask.
Really nice of you, especially, when you're going through your own things, to have the compassion to want to help other people. Because sometimes, when you're going through it, you feel so isolated and microscope that it's hard to remember the rest of the world or even the person next to you. So I love that you're not only just like, handing out baked goods, but you're really taking other people's situations to heart. And I think that says a lot to do about character and your integrity to your mission of really trying to change the world, one little step at a time, just like we all are, and I think that's the biggest thing. That's how it adds up to something that's bigger than us, or shifting mindset, or making other people feel the exact same way. Like you said, hey, I only got one request, and that request is you do it the same when you're in the same position, and I think that's the most beautiful thing, because it's literally like climbing a ladder and then getting to the top, and then making sure everybody else on the ladder also is able to get to the top too.
The biggest thing with that, it helps me feel good. Now, when we were walking, I was walking home. They were in front of me. They ended up calling their mom or dad or whoever was looking after them, and they said, "Oh my God, I didn't have the money, but this guy behind me turned around and said, paid it for all of us, paid the whole thing." And he was so happy. It made me happy that I could do something for someone else. So I'm always looking for the positives, not the negatives. It's like, oh my God, I made him smile. I made him happy. I did that. So I look at the positives so it can help someone. It helps me as well. When you look at the positives on anything, it can release endorphins that make you feel good. You feel good, you're not going to want to take your life.
How do you define healing now compared to what you used to think healing was?
That's a difficult one. Because I consume myself now with helping people, trying to make people happy, trying to teach people the things that I've learned that help me, trying to be open and honest. So I guess it's a matter of that's what drives me to make myself happy by helping others.
And then before, what did you think it was before all of it? So if now it's helping others, what did you think of healing? Or did you even think it was possible for yourself?
I didn't really think of it much before I tried. I did a lot of self-improvement courses, a lot of different ones. With that, I did probably 6 to 8 different ones. I only take one thing out of it, and that was to help myself, right? It's like, I don't want to get into that too much because I'm going to use it my own. Because I want to get into helping kids in schools. I want to do more public speaking. I'd love to be able to do TED Talks, right? I want to get my foundation on the ground. What drives me for happiness now really is helping others. And before that, I didn't really think of it helping myself or helping others. It was just existing. But now, that's why I said I wish I could bottle what we learned after we tried taking our life, so I can teach others.
I like that, and believe me, you're definitely on your way. I share the same passion of wanting to be a public speaker like you, being on stages, sharing my story, and I think that's the best thing. And I also really like that, even for me, healing, what I used to think it was like healing myself, like put a band-aid on myself and be like, I'm fine. But sometimes, the pain's still there, even though you have a band-aid on it. And I think the biggest thing is realizing that healing is an internal and external thing. And that also involves relationship building, getting closer to people, finding things that, equal more gratitude, finding things that give you more purpose and sensation of being around. And I think when you go through a traumatic incident like yourself, you're forced to see the positive, because what you already know what it's like to cross the line. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, what do I do now? It's like a CEO getting fired and wondering how he's going to rebuild, being the CEO, and now he's just, somebody with a job application. I think when you get broken down to ground level, it really opens it up to a bigger picture. And I think sometimes we have this pinhole view on life based on what's going on, our situations, how we feel inside, what people are saying to us, and it distorts the true value of the human experience, which in my opinion is that gratitude, is that generosity, that wanting to be better.
Well, yes, I totally agree, but I look at it slightly different.
Perfect.
You know,
Yeah, go for it.
people look at when one door closes, another one opens. There's all kinds of different things like that. And what it really is, that one door closing, another door opening, that seems you need to look positive to go through that open door. It's like, I don't know if you can see this or not. That tattoo, see there's a white line all the way through in the center. Okay? This tattoo says strength. I went and got it done because I want to look at myself and go, oh my God, I need to have my own strength. Well, it got messed up. It's got a line all the way through the center of it. It was a broken needle. And I'm going, oh my God. I'm looking at I need to look at the positive. Every cloud has a silver lining. This tattoo has a silver lining. So it's another door that opened for me to look at positives. So we may look at everything has a silver lining. That's why I love to look at the positive parts, not the negative.
I like that, and how you were able to use that metaphor. This shows your creativeness and how artistic you are in the mind to put, wait a minute, silver lining, line on the arm, white, blue, text, okay, and working that in. I know you said that you don't request the back button, but do you ever feel guilty for the version of you that didn't know any better when you were going through all this?
I knew that question was coming up. I get asked a lot of times when I'm live. I get privately. So, do I regret it? Yes and no. Now, the reason why I regret it is how I hurt my dad, my stepmom, my stepbrothers and sisters. How I really, 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 really hurt my kids, my grandkids. One of my kids wouldn't even talk to me for almost a year. The other one was talking to me every day, almost twice a day, making sure I'm okay, didn't want to lose me. This is a very emotional part. Anyway, and I dare anybody that's tried taking their life to say they tried taking their life because they wanted to hurt someone. You made that one in a blue moon that might say it. But we tried taking our life just to end the pain in here and our heart. It wasn't to hurt anybody. So I regret it on how I hurt my friends, my family, everything. I regret that part. Now, the part I don't regret, look at me now. I'm happy. I'm go-lucky. I'm positive. I can help people. So this part, it made me, I was always a very positive person. I wasn't John Johnson, wasn't a narcissist or bully or anything. I was just below middle. But now, my positivity and helping people is out of this world. It really is now. So I look at it as a positive, not just a negative. So it's got its pros and cons. So I look at it that way, the same as I look at silver linings, door opening or closing. I'll do that all. But I look at a silver lining, I may look at, believe it or not, when people bully and harass me, oh my God, you don't know what you're talking about. I look at it this way. They may not like me. May not get what I'm saying, but they might get you. They might get that person. They might get the person in the chat. I'm not going to click with everybody,
Yeah.
but everybody can click with someone for looking positive. But it's up to you to find that person. They're not going to find you. I am adamant, very, very adamant. Everything starts with you. You're feeling down or not, you have to reach out. Now, I'm going there. So I'm going to go into it a little bit more. When someone tries reaching out to you, they're going to open up very, very slowly. They're going to see what your reactions are and make sure. See if they can open up because they don't know if they can trust you. They don't know if you're going to go on a microphone tell the whole world or on social media and blab it all. It has to be trust because most people go along, oh my God, I need to open up. The pain's so bad. What are people going to think of me? How are they going to interpret what I'm saying? Are they going to get it? Are they going to bully me back? Are they going to put me down? So that's why a lot of people don't open up first. Now, most people, if you go and open up to a therapist or a strength for that, be open and honest. Tell them everything. And people go, oh, they might say something. Why'd they get into it? Because they want to help people. They're not going to tell the whole world. It can't really help you unless if you tell your whole story.
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. And that's well said, and a lot of this too, and even with my platform, it's about safe space and holding that space for others so people can feel validated, they can feel heard, they can speak without judgment, without bias, and tell their version of the story. And sometimes, for a lot of people that are going through trauma, that could be the first time they've ever set themselves free or opened themselves up. And the communication and conversation is a therapy on its own. And when you can embrace something and take somebody on professionally and respectfully and do it in a way that really honors and respects them and allows them to tell their story without making it look like, they're like a sideshow act or a part of the circus, you know what I mean, is, in my opinion, very, very powerful because it allows vulnerability. And with egos, removed, with people that are open and willing to communicate, I feel just like you've discovered and talked about tonight, is that's where the healing can start to truly begin. But if we can't hold space for hard and tough conversations, for things that are taboo, even if it's not on a podcast, there's tons of times I talk to a lot of other people just like you do where it's never on social media. But when I get the opportunity to talk to somebody like you or my other guests who have all added tons of value, I take that as a great pride. And I know it's a way that somebody's going to watch this interview and they're going to see you speak and they're going to get inspired. It's going to save somebody's life. It's going to make somebody's trauma one more step closer to a piece of happiness or stability that they haven't felt before because they got to hear it from somebody else. And I think that's why the power and the testament of voice is just so underrated. You don't have to have 1 million followers. You don't have to have even a following. Just you willing and being able to share your story is enough.
Yeah. Now, one of the things I'd like to say, because you did, you opened the door for me for this part of the conversation to help people and everything else. Now, as you notice, when I've been talking about helping people, you've never heard me say you have to do this, you have to do that, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I will never, ever, 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 ever tell somebody what they have to do. I won't tell them everything starts with you. Get out of bed and do something you like to do, right? Not do that. I'm not telling you what to do when you get out of bed That's up to you. But you do have to keep busy. Now, I've seen this several times on social media platforms. Oh, this guy feels like taking their life. We all gotta help him. And people go, oh my God, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you have to do this. And they start going, okay, yeah, whatever. And they leave. Right? You can't tell someone what to do because we're all different. Now,
Mm.
what I suggest, and I've proved it over the 5 years or 6 years I've been doing this on social media, is hey man, why don't you try this? Hey, I heard this works. Hey, this worked for this guy, it might work for you. Make suggestions. Never, ever, ever, ever tell them what they have to do. You can even go along and remind them, hey man, if you're right at that point where you think you're going to take your life, remember, there's 988. Instead of 911, call 988. It's the mental health hotline in North America.
Yeah.
So I won't tell them what they have to do. I mean, I'll give them suggestions or whatever else. When you start telling someone that's already hurting, you have to do this, you have to do that, the way the brain can interpret is, oh my God, I need to do this. I messed up. I did this thing bad. Oh yeah, they're putting you down because I should have done this. I shouldn't. Right? You're actually hurting them more. Is to tell them, hey, I heard this voice, and do it in a nice tone. Right? Same as I'm going to do this for other people that are listening. Is if someone's tried taking their life in their hospital, that means their mental health was so bad it was hurting in the head. And you go in there, oh my God, why did you try taking your life? That was wrong. You shouldn't have done it. They're already hurting. Don't make them feel bad.
Yeah.
Be there to help them and support. Hey, I know it was, I know you trying to take your life was wrong. How can I help you? What would make you feel better? Don't berate them because you're just relying to try to take their life again. And I've seen it personally over and over.
Were there any certain like experiences that you had when you were recovering that really gave you a positive experience like you're describing? Like, was there anybody particular that asked you those questions or connected with you in that way?
Yeah. Raider Mom Jersey Terry on TikTok. She helped me so much with it. She wouldn't put me down for it. Hey, if you need to call me, call me. I'm always here. She had an open ear. She never, ever, ever judged me. She was there to help me through the good and bad. Right? And she was really busy with a secret code where I could get a hold of her and she dropped what she's doing to help me. And that meant an awful lot. That meant that I have a secret code now where I can make her talk to me and help me. I said make. She offered. I'm not really making her. But I know that's there. So that majorly helped me. I only have ever used it once. But I knew it was there. A couple of times I thought, oh my God, I need to reach out to her. Oh shoot, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning where she is. So that's why I'll tell everybody you need 5 people to reach out. He was my son, my fat one, that would take it all and majorly help me. Then I had other ones that I could call and help. That one could be, she could be busy. This one could be at work. This one could be in school. This one could be having fun with her partner. And they're there to help me. I just want to say, don't rely on one person to talk to. Have 5 or more. Hey, the 5th person could be you just need to talk about sports, golf, sewing, cooking, whatever, to get your mind busy and off your problems to make you feel better. Now, when people call me and talk to me, I may end up going along and cracking a joke, right? To relieve the stress when I'm talking to them. It's like I can go like this. Hey, you just wanted to do this because you wanted to see my pickle.
Yeah, that's
See,
funny.
you laugh. So it takes away a lot of the tension. I release a little bit of endorphins that makes you feel good. But I know you're not going to touch my pickle. You'd rather have your wife's taco, right?
Uh,
So you notice how I just do stupid little things like this? I release the tension. I made the level of high stress from here come out a little more easier to talk to. Did I learn this overnight? No, I really didn't learn it overnight. It's by talking and helping people. And I'll give all kinds of people this advice. You want to help yourself? Don't give up. Oh, but it's not worth it. So I tell them this. When you were a little baby and you were learning how to walk, and you fell down, your uncle laughed at you or your mom and dad because you fell like, did you give up? No. You got up and tried again. You fell down. You got up. You're walking now, aren't you? You never gave up and you started walking. Don't give up on your mental health.
I like that. We got 8 minutes left, and usually within the last 10 to now 8 minutes or whatever, I usually open it up to the guests. If there's anything that we didn't cover, anything that you wanted to talk about, I'll give you the floor. We got about, let's say, 10 minutes. And, what does Al want to, bring to the world?
I just want to help people. I want to make people that are struggling help them so the pain isn't in their head. I know what it's like to have that bad pain. So I want to help them.
Have you thought about starting like an organization or like a nonprofit or for profit?
Yes, I want to get it off the ground. Non-profit. Um, and I'm working on it. I've already got the names for it. I've reserved all the .coms, .ca, .org. I have them all registered. Like the Good Karma family, because everybody forgets about good karma. You treat people good, they treat you good back. You bully, harass them, they're going to do that back.
Yeah.
And the foundation is going to help me go do travel and everything else. I will not take a cent, but it's going to help me be able to travel and do talks and help people, whether it's schools or whatever.
That's fantastic. And I share the same thing, wanting to speak at schools and other things like that. And I mean, the biggest thing right now is you're already doing it. You're already putting it together, and I'm sure, you're closer than you think you are to being exactly where you want to be. And that's, just showing up for yourself, even if it's not anyone else, and sometimes even showing up for yourself is difficult, but you're exemplifying that, and that's really cool. So with your nonprofit, what else would you do with it? Is there any, like, did you open a center? What would you do?
I can't see one opening up right away. I could see me trying to put together programs that will help people through these situations. A friend of mine, Kashi, that runs Hope for 22 a day, is building a program itself to help all the vets in the USA. I love what they're doing for Hope for 22 a day because that was every 22 minutes a veteran would take their life. Okay? It's a lot more than that. But everyone's trying to help with something with it. And they're trying to do an awful lot. And they have saved lives. They've been helping with veterans in the USA. I don't care if I'm Canadian. I don't care where you live. If I can help you mentally, that's my biggest goal.
That's awesome.
Any other questions, guys?
Anybody in chat have any questions? You still got plenty of time. Anything else we can get out of you? Let's see here. Lacey, you have any questions here? My biggest thing is I just love the inspiration, and what you bring to the table as far as energy, because having energy is one thing, creating energy is another thing. And through, your brand and the clothing, through the creativity, through you helping other people, everything you do is just like an outreach. And it's just cool because a lot of people, like you said, could, play the victim and poor me and woes me and I'm a survivor and people should take care of me. But your mindset is so unique and so just attached to giving back. It's really inspiring, because for somebody in a way who is still in need of different things, your ability and desire to really give back and get on the road and really change people's stories is very profound, and it's very admirable, and it takes a lot of courage and character to do that. And I just want to commend you, for everything that you're doing, because you are changing the world 1 minute, one person at a time, and it is true. Mission 22 and all these other things, they're real things. And when we can convince people to stay here on earth versus make a permanent decision for usually, a temporary problem, money can't buy that, and you're really doing the work. Lacey says, I really just want to thank you for being a guest and sharing your story. I really hope it helps someone else. Yeah, no, I do too. And I know it will help somebody else. And that's one thing with Vindec EU is I heal in Romanian. And I wanted to show you on my wrist here, I have a tattoo and it says, every person you meet, every single one is looking for their story. There are no exceptions. You become a part of it by how you treat them. So I like you, like your shirt had the same message. It's all about how we treat others and what the world can do, and that pay it forward, whether it's a kindness or a dollar. It's the ability to recognize that there's great people in the world. And like Robin Williams said, when ego goes bye-bye, you start to realize how many great and wonderful people there are on the planet to be thankful for. And I think that also comes with surviving and trauma, is you release the ego and you really start the healing. And I think it's a learned language. It's not something we're born with knowing how to heal ourselves, knowing how to tear ourselves apart or destroy something is easy. Learning how to rebuild from the ashes, that takes courage, and that's what you exemplify.
Takes strength.
And strength with silver lining.
But this is how much I believe in the golden rule. It's tattooed on my back.
Can you step a little bit closer to the camera? And what does it say? Can you tell us? Oh, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing as on my leg.
That is awesome.
Always treat others the way you like to be treated.
That is amazing.
It goes with me wherever I go.
We share a mindset on that one. It was that same idea. It's like wherever I go, I wanted it to be like somebody wrote it down on my arm, and then you took your brand and literally put it on your back. So that is sweet.
Well, this tattoo became. I had plans to get them both done at the same time. Once my merch was launched, it got taken down USA, but I was gonna have it up. I'm working on it, but there was technical difficulties. But it's really who I am. It's how I think and everything else. It really is.
Well, you're an awesome person, and I really appreciate you being here and being able to share your story. It's just really awesome, and I'm very honored. Last two questions, and then we'll wrap it up. One, what do you think, if anything, that you got out of being on the podcast today? I always like to ask people if they got anything out of it.
I don't know if I really got much out of it except for being able to tell my story that can help more people. That's the biggest thing because I look at the positives. I always have. So me being able to tell this and if it helps one person, it was worth it. It's if it helps more, great. But I've always looked at it this way. I'm not anybody special. I call myself a nobody. In the grand scheme of it, in the entire world, I'm really a nobody. Am I here to help people? Yes. Am I very positive? Yes. And I do it as kind of a self-check thing. Okay? So I'm really a nobody in the entire world. How did I get this positive? How did I get quite a few followers? From being me. I don't want to change. I want to be me and keep helping people. So in the grand scheme of it, I look at it as I'm really a nobody. Am I positive? Yes. And I'll say that when I go into different people's lives. I'll say I'm a nobody. Oh, you're not a nobody. You know what? I look at it this way. You just thought that yourself. So you think yourself. You're not really a nobody. I'll do it as kind of a reverse psychology in a lot of things.
I like that. But there is a quote that says, "To the world, you're somebody, and to somebody, you're the world."
Mhm.
So, but no, I really like that. And then the last one is, why did you decide to come on our platform to share your story?
You guys reached out. I asked some questions on what it was. You gave me some videos, and it's all on the positivity of helping with mental health. And okay, I'll do it
Well, that
because
is
I
awesome.
want to help people.
Well, I know that you definitely help people, and I know that everybody watching here has felt some way I have about being a better person and thinking more positively, and you're a role model for that. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to be on the show and really share that with us, because we, like you, want to magnify positivity, because in the world, with everything going on, good or bad or indifferent, the world needs more love. And when you can share a story or a time or space or whatever it is with somebody, you don't know what that does and where people are in their lives, because a lot of this is silent. These are silent pains and turmoils that we live in until it explodes one day. Where can people find you and support you? I would love for people to get invested in your brand and your future nonprofit when that takes place. Where can we find you?
Right now, the most spot I do is actually on TikTok. You can search Al Wright underscore GKF, and GKF stands for Good Karma Family. Anybody, I do this. I'm not part of the big old family or whatever. The Good Karma Family is about helping people. Anybody on there that puts underscore GKF is open and willing to talk to people mentally. Will you be told you have to follow someone? No. told to block someone or not be friends with them? No. It's just a bunch of people. Anybody can join, anybody can leave. You'll never be asked to join, you'll never be asked to leave. But it's there for you to show that you're willing to openly talk to people.
That's wonderful. And I definitely think that everything you're building is soon going to take off, probably sooner than you expect. And I really hope to see you on a TEDx stage. That would be fucking super. I actually want to be on TEDx myself, so maybe we should go together. We'll plan a plan to make a conversation or something like that. But I really support you and your dreams, and really appreciate you being here tonight. So guys, we have more podcasts coming your way, and remember that the Honey on Duty event is coming up on the 15th. The Vindec EU Healing the Hustle is on the 20th at Always Flavored. Great location for both events, and we have more coming your way. I'll stay on. Everybody else, we will see you guys very, very soon. Peace out, everybody.
Love you all.